Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I would like to share one story from this book called Inner Guidance, Our Divine Birthright by Anne Archer Butcher. It's very beautiful, mystical manifestation story. So let's dive into our story. Basically, this book has a lots of interesting stories, and she follows spirituality, and she have a beautiful experience. And the story she wrote, she was quite young, in her early 20s, and she was a teacher, and she wrote that they needed one volunteer teacher, and basically they was taking students, group of students, for the escort training, and they want a volunteer teacher. So she feel a nudge from inside. She felt like she can be volunteer, and Tiny had a voice in her head, and she followed the voice and she accepted the volunteer position. So when she follow with the students, here I will start reading. When we arrived at school, I was told that they had all the teacher they needed to help with the testing, and the test was to last 4 hours. So I was going to be free for most of the day. So yet I asked not to leave the campus. The students and I had bit of free time before testing was to begin. So they started exploring the school and exploring the area around. And in few minutes, basically, she started to express regret, the lady who is writing this story, to say, I wish I had known and at least brought a book with me. So instead, I stopped myself and corrected my thoughts before they expressed. And I have been talking to my students about the principle of expecting the best and selecting our thoughts wisely. So I looked in the good timings to make conscious choice in all the direction, and I being guided, so away from regret and toward the trust and service with happy attitude. So she changed her thought, and she started to making a decision that she will be making best use of her time. So as we waited for the testing to begin, we saw the vending machine. She was exploring the area with the students. They saw a vending machine outside the cafeteria, and they decided to buy some snacks. So in the vending machine, she couldn't find anything apart from candies assortment, and that was not of her choice. So she found at the bottom corner of the machine that there was a big brown bag of peanuts in the shell. So she bought the bag of peanut, and the bag was so huge. After depositing all my coins and grabbing up the large big bag of peanut, I giggled and shared with the student the whimsical thoughts that pop up into my head. Now only if I had an elephant to share all these peanuts, I said. Life would be perfect. That's what she wished. So if I have an elephant to share all these peanuts, life would be perfect. And we all laughed, and I wished them well and watched the students, they rushing to the testing room. And now she started walking around and wandering around, exploring the area, because she has some free time to walk around. So as I turned to set off in that direction, there was a big mystical trees outside. My eyes grew wide in amazement, and there was not far from me stood an elephant. Looking all around, I saw no one else. The elephant could not be the school mascot. So why was it here? It was loose and just standing there, and someone responsible for this lovely animal had to be close by. And she was thinking all these thoughts, and he was swaying gently under the tree and moving from foot to foot. And as I look at him, his trunk went up as if he is greeting. So I stood perfectly still for a moment. She was basically shocked, and I think anyone will be shocked to see the big elephant in no minutes. Also convincing myself this elephant was real. So no reasonable explanation offered themselves. So I looked in all directions and no one else was there. An elephant was just standing there looking as if he were waiting for me. Hadn't I just asked an elephant to share my peanuts? Yes, she did really. So what is next? Our task all the time is to do all we can do to stay in tune with our inner guidance. So, yet sometimes it is amazing where divine spirit may lead us. So what happened next? Yet the fact remained that I was standing on the ground of rural Indiana campus with a bag of peanuts in my hand right in front of an elephant. When things occurred, they was quite out of ordinary, and there is always an important lesson. But what could be the lesson in stumbling upon an elephant on the school grounds? So next, what she did, I was cautiously approached this enormous creature, the male elephant, and she basically was scared, and quietly she go next to the elephant. Elephant stroked my face gently with his trunk. He was a friendly elephant. I touched his body in response and felt his rough skin with its ridges and creases, and he looked well cared for and was beautifully shaped. He had clear sparkling eyes and was grayish black in color, with a little dusting of dirt all around. So she was basically touching elephant, and she making sure that is a real elephant. An elephant was friendly, and he was touching with her with his trunk as well. So that was a hot summer day, and I become concerned that elephant might actually be lost, thirsty and hungry. So how long had he been there? So she thought that he must be thirsty. So she gone inside the school and filled the bucket of water, and she gave elephant a bucket of water, and he drank all the water, and then his trunk began to explore my pocket as he was looking for something. The peanut. I reached into the bag and took out few peanuts, and now new dilemma presented itself. How do you feed an elephant? She didn't know that how to feed an elephant. Now she was basically holding the elephant trunk in one hand, and I carefully pushed some peanuts gently into the opening at the end. And I repeated this procedure several times. Basically, she was adding peanuts in elephant nose. The trunk is basically the nose, and she do not know how to feed elephant. And when she added lots of peanuts in his nose, so what happened? Like elephant, basically he raised his trunk, pulled his back slightly, aimed at my face, and fired the juicy peanut hit on my forehead. So large friend was clearly offended by my ignorance of elephant peanut protocol, because I received a quirky lesson not to stick peanuts up in elephant nose. Then what she did now, she didn't have to do that. So I was trying to help. But then what she did, his trunk began to sway again around the pocket where the peanut was stored. So I bravely decided to try it again, and she took up the bag out, and she put the bag in front of elephant, and he picked one peanut with at the end of his trunk and put it in his, like a folded, and put it in his mouth. Then she knew how to feed the elephant. Now she gave some peanuts in her hand and gave it to elephant, and elephant was picking from her hand and eating peanuts. So they basically become friend. Now the elephant was 8 to 9 feet tall, and up to the shoulder. So he ate whole bag of peanut, and she go to the vending machine and she bought few more bags of peanut. And basically she was saying, yes, the peanuts was definitely not for me, that was for an elephant. So she spent all her coins buying the peanuts for the elephant. So I was experiencing something else as well. I was quite surprised that elephants seemed to have very big heart. It was filled with love, which he was generously sharing with me. And then they both decided to walk around. So she was walking with the elephant, and elephant was lovingly touching her with his trunk, and he put his trunk around her back and touching her back of the neck. It was really lovely experience she has. So the love was so enormous and all encompassing. So I felt enveloped in it. So everything seemed really adventurous. So suddenly she felt strong inner guidance, being directed inward to speak to this elephant in pictures. So that was the inner guidance. Then she need to find something, the way this elephant came from. So as at first I wondered, it was just my imagination, but it seemed very clear, and I had a sense that I should think in word pictures. I would imagine a picture and get another picture in return. So the two would communicate in quite an easy and natural way. So it was an extraordinary effective. I saw an inner image of small circus tent, and it wasn't a picture of my own making. So I sensed the elephant was telling me that this was his home and the circus tent was where he needed to go. So I could not leave the school until the testing was over. So they decided to enjoy the walk, and they was walking around, and there was elephant trunk was touching around her shoulder, and they was enjoying the walk like two friends. And then what happened now at the end of the day, when there was a time, to return. Students has to return. So she gently bring the elephant at the back of the school, and then she decided to give a surprise to the students. When the students came out, she asked them to let's follow me, I will show you the surprise. And she took all of them and to show the elephant, and all of them, they were so surprised to see what is happening. Like I teased them by saying, indeed the peanut in the machine were for the elephant, the school mascot. And the school students was really happy to see the elephant basically. So this big friendly fellow liked seeing the students and waved his trunk gently to touch each of them, and they loved being acknowledged in this way. So she decided to go and find the tent, which she inwardly get message basically. So she asked students to stay with the elephant, and she gone to find the circus tent, and she drove few miles, and she found the circus tent with there was a striped circus tent. And then she spoken to someone, and the silver haired man approached to me, and I asked him that is the circus missing an elephant. So they was practically jumped at me, and they said, do you have the elephant, and how do you know about it? So she told them that your elephant, I spent a day with him. It's a lovely elephant, and at the moment it is with my group of students. So she bring them with her so they can collect the elephant safely. So the elephant, they greeted the owner, and it shows that he been really treated well and was full of love, and she basically had a wonderful experience. So that was a story, and she still say, when I returned to my school on Monday morning, the student had already shared the elephant story far and wide, and smiles greeted me as I walked through the hallway. So a divine spirit works in seemingly mysterious way, and there are endless little blessings all around us, and sometimes they are really big one too. Inner guidance brought me to this small act of service, and through service, it also gave me huge gift. I expanded in my understanding of love through this simple experience. We all here to grow in love, opportunities to blossom all around us. And as we love, serve other, and expect the best in all things every day, divine spirit guide us very precisely in to our greatest good. The gift it brings are often life's greatest treasure. So that was my story today. Hope you enjoy it, and I love it. So I thought I will share with you, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.